So siapa yang belum subscribe Galeri Kereta, boleh klik button kat bawah subscribe, dan kita jumpa lagi di next episode untuk kita apa lagi proses untuk KA30 ni. Okay, see you, bye bye. Assalamualaikum.
What do Giancarlo Fisichella, Riccardo Patrese, and pretty much all of the Italian Formula 1 drivers have in common? They've all raced here at Ortona, round one of the Rotax Sim Racing Challenge Asia, and we are about to get underway at one of the most exciting racetracks in Europe. I'm your host for this evening, Max Palmer. With me in the studio is Encik Budi.
So, Max, this is going to be the round one for Rotax Sim Racing Challenge Asia. And it's been a really good qualifying race that we have watched last week. Now, I'm ready to see the action of these guys.
Absolutely, and around Ortona, it's a fantastic track because it's very high speed, and half of it is full on, almost like an oval race, and the other half very technical. It's going to be super difficult to set the car up, but yeah, it's going to be very exciting indeed. Of course, for those of you who just joined us here for round one of the Rotax Sim Racing Challenge here, Rotax Sim Racing Challenge Asia is our first online to offline championship there in association with Amprex Racing Services and organised by Adrenaline Impact and Vertex Esports, along with our media partners Galeri Kereta. We have a chance to send one of our drivers here, our champion driver, for an all-expense-paid trip to the greatest race in Asia, greatest kart race in Asia, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be going to Ortona, Italy, and Interlagos in Brazil, a classic kart track, as well as Baskerud in Norway. And of course, you guys have a chance to win too with the Rotax Racer Challenge there, and a prize pool of 3,000 ringgit on top of that.
That is a big prize pool. Don't forget. And the winner of this event, we're gonna fly them through up to Langkawi.
Yeah.
And for the C-Max Challenge Asia, that's gonna be a 3 days full-on racing experience. Yeah?
Absolutely, the Rotax Max Challenge Asia Festival in Langkawi. It's the greatest kart race in Asia, and that's not just marketing. It is a well-known event, a well-known circuit as well, and all put on specially thanks to Amprex, our sponsor, and also the organizers of the Rotax Max Challenge Asia Festival. So that's going to be absolutely spectacular stuff indeed. So how this is going to work is that we've got 16 drivers, 16 of the fastest qualifiers in sim racing here in Malaysia. They're going to go to a online league. That's what we're here for today. 3 rounds, 3 very special racetracks, and we're going to send the top 10 to the grand finals. Morac, 1 UTAMA, and of course, you guys at home have a chance to win too. There's 10 spots available for our hashtag Rotax Racer challenge there. So do post and win. Tell us why you are a Rotax Racer on Instagram and Facebook, and you will stand a chance to win a seat for the Rotax Sim Racing Asia Grand Finals at MORAC 1 UTAMA on the 4th of December 2022. There's also five copies of Automobilista to be given away. It's a brilliant sim racing platform, and yeah, we can't get enough of it.
Yeah, I do agree with you, Max. Automobilista 2, it's not the newest, but it's one of the best right now.
Yeah.
For me, I think. So, like we told earlier, like Max have told you earlier, that when you go and post, and you can win the chance, you can stand a chance to win the real life karting experience.
Yeah.
Racing. This is not just, you know.
Yep,
just
you will get to enter your first race in a kart. And of course, the winner of that race will, as I said, go on to the greatest kart race in Asia, an all-expense paid trip to watch the Rotax Max Challenge Asia Festival in Langkawi. Special thanks to Amprex Motorsports for putting that on again, 9th to 11th of December 2022. And if for those of you guys who actually want to go out there and watch the racing, regardless, it is one of the best races to watch in Asia. I am not kidding. You will see some names out there that you might see in 5 or 10 years' time racing in Formula One. For instance, guys that have come up through Rotax Max in the Asia Pacific region include people like Daniel Ricciardo. So you really can see perhaps Formula One race winners coming up through the ranks there. And the racing is as good as any form of motorsports anywhere in the world. Rotax Max Challenge Asia Festival in Langkawi. And hot tip for those of you guys coming from Peninsular Malaysia, the Langkawi Development Authority, or LADA, run some fantastic ferry services coming across from the mainland of Kedah and I believe
Perlis.
and
Kuala
Perlis.
Kedah.
Yes.
Yeah. So Max, how many races actually we are gonna see today?
So we're going to run 2 heats in classic karting fashion, 2 sprint races, all or nothing.
Ooh.
That's the great part about kart racing. Championship level kart racing is always a sprint, and but even then, even though they're only 15-minute races, tire management is going to be really key here. The Mojo tires, you know, you can overwork them. They're really good tires, but again, it's all down to the skill of the drivers to see how they can get through this race.
Well, 15-minute race sounds pretty short race, but it's really it's gonna be a long race. This track is 1.6 kilometers, so I bet it's gonna take like maybe less than 1 minute. 1 minute.
Yeah, the top drivers on their pole position times will be aiming for going under 1 minute. That is the gold standard for this track. So we're looking at a predicted race pace of about 59 second to 1 minute 1 second range. So 59 to 61 seconds basically.
So 15 minutes. 15-minute race is gonna be like 15 laps.
Basically, it's a 15 lap race there. Of course, we have our pit lane correspondent Umar Aziz taking all the notes for us down there. He's been spying on all of their practice times there, and they have been practicing quite a lot. The unique thing about Ortona, of course, is the high speed section that opens and closes the laps there. It's basically a very, very long right-hand bend, and that's going to be what it's that's what's going to really push them hard there. But of course, before we head off into the track proper and look at some of the racing action that we're about to witness here, we're going to have a quick chat about qualifying. The series qualifying was where we sort out, we put the information out there. We tried to get 16 of the fastest drivers in Malaysia and Singapore as well to come along here, and that was done in Londrina in Brazil, another classic karting track there. Again, absolutely beautiful place to watch some racing there, and we've had fairly decent response there. I think we do have some of the fastest drivers out there who've qualified. We have Gascon, we have Jay Wong, we have all of the stars there, and we can see them right here. The top 16 drivers, Lee Ka-chun is the fastest out there, 43.025 seconds. That's world record pace.
He
for
still holds the
Londrina.
world record for that.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are talking about drivers that were fighting for the world record here. And this is Lee Ka-chun, Muazzam Zairi, aka Gascon, who held the world record for over a week, which is unheard of in Automobilista 2 terms. Jay Wong was in third, also another guy gunning for the world record, not just the world record for someone coming from Asia. This is the fastest time for 125cc fixed speed kart around Londrina in AMS2. So definitely these are the best of the best here. In 4th position, Hishamuddin, that's another driver to look out for. In 5th place, Kamal Ali, and in 6th, Ika Shabirin. Those two drivers there, I think, are going to spring some surprises.
Both those Kamal Ali and Ika Shabirin, well, we know them for quite a while, and they are adapting really good to this game.
Yeah.
So on the 7th place, we have Afiq Fadlan, also known as Afa. Also quite a experienced driver.
Yeah, real dark horse.
Yeah, especially in Asita and what was this guy? Automobilistas.
Yeah.
Yep. And then we have Muhammad Akmal and Rahimi Hang. Hazmi Hamido, no, Master Seth.
Yes, Master
We
Seth
never go wrong with that.
Yeah, Master Seth managed to get himself into the championship there in 10th position there. So he's really fighting hard to get that race, get to that grand final there. Again, he didn't really start professionally sim racing until about earlier this year.
Yeah, I think it's less than 1 year.
Yeah, less than 1 year. Before that, he was a toge specialist.
He's actually more towards street styles of racing, you know.
Yeah.
These kind of halam kind of things, you know?
Yeah. But of course, as Master Seth always reminds his fans, and we will remind our fans here in the studio and at home, to always, if you are going to be doing this street style driving, do it in the simulator. Don't do it in real life. It's not worth the risk.
No. And then on the 11th place, we have Khalid.
Yes.
Yo, this is a fighting games contender.
What hasn't he mastered? He's mastered sim racing. That's where I known him from. But I've also known him from FPS. He's really good at CSGO, and Valorant.
Yeah,
and also fighting games, Tekken. Like, oh God, you've seen him from that. Like, unbelievable technique.
I've been with him for quite a while. You know?
I think he's perhaps the most all-round esports athlete I've ever seen. It's great to see him out there as well. Norizmi is out there in 12th position. Perhaps not the fastest over one lap, but you will be surprised, I think, as to how fast he is over the course of the race. And of course, Nabil Faz, aka Slowhand Bill, he is an amazing driver there. He is, I think, one of the premier experts in GT racing in AMS2. And he competes not just in Asia, but also in Europe in AMS2 competition. Another driver that's not super qualifying focused, but I mean, he's fast enough to get himself 13th on the grid here. This is out of all the drivers in Malaysia and Singapore, so you can imagine his race pace is going to be pretty hard.
Yeah, and consistency, that is the key of this game, of racing, you know. Now we have Amirul Adli, aka we know them as Berries.
Berries, yes.
Yeah. Another quite experienced racer, especially in GT3 kind of race, class of race, you know. Yeah.
Seems like in any category, in any game, a quick GT3 driver is always going to be Berries, Amirul Adli.
Yeah.
It's just he's always on the pace, whether it's iRacing or AMS2 or Assetto Corsa, always there. And of course, we have Ayman Zabri as well, and Iskandar, two very, very quick drivers coming up there. Last minute entries there. They did actually clock a time, but unfortunately, due to a couple of issues, they are listed here as wildcard entries, but we can confirm that they've done the times there. So that's going to be absolutely exciting to see these 16 drivers battling it out throughout the course of the season.
Yes, Max. So after that, we're gonna see the qualifying round of this today, round 1.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to head on to Ortona, otherwise known as Circuito di Abruzzo in Italy, in Villa Torre. In Italy.
Villa Torre, yeah. I was like, Villa Torre.
Villa Torre.
Villa Torre.
In Italy. 1.5 kilometers long, which is the longest you can make an CIK Grade 1 karting track. 16 turns, so a very technical track. Perhaps not as technical as Langkawi, but still very, very quick track there. Of course, a host of the World Championships for karting in the KZ classes, and of course a round of the Rotax Max Challenge in Europe is held there as well. So a classic track, a very, very high speed sector there. But this is going to really challenge not only the driver's ability to drive, but also their setup abilities, because this track is really a Jekyll and Hyde proposition.
Yeah, Max, I was hoping that we use the full track so we can see how they handle the chicken. It's really hard because the chicken is really small. Okay, the width of this track was actually around 13 meters. So you can imagine how small the chicken is.
Yeah, we're going to go on board for a lap of Ortona here. Absolutely coming down towards turn 1 there. You have to be super smooth with the steering. And it's almost absolutely flat out going up through here. Now the first big braking zone here. You go over the crest here, you brake, it's blind. And you have to turn in before you can see the apex. Now coming out through there, we've got a couple of quick left-hand flicks here before another braking zone here. You have to brake a lot less than you think you can going through there. The less brakes you do, the faster you are. Now coming up through these hairpin sections and square corners here, it's all about being as neat and as tidy as possible. Coming down towards this section here especially, this really kills the tires on the left-hand side. And you have to remember, there's a very, very fast right-hander at the start of the lap that really kills that left rear. Coming up towards here, this is the outer hairpin. And coming out toward there, it's super critical to get a good exit out of here, because you carry this speed all the way for almost a kilometer of driving. And through this final corner here, it's all about using every single millimeter of the track for a lap of Ortona.
Ooh, the final corner looks very sketchy.
Yes, I think that we're going to probably see some spills there.
Yeah, that's gonna be a really exciting things to see. You know, a 15-minute race, it doesn't mean much, but every single things count.
Yeah.
Before the checkered flag is raised, anything can happen.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of thrills and spills coming up right after this, but soon we are going to head on down to qualifying, where the drivers are getting ready to go out onto the track for qualifying for race 1. So the format here is we're going to qualify the karts there. They're going to do their qualifying laps. As you can see there, all the karts are now gathered out on track at the moment, and right after qualifying we'll go into race 1, then we'll have qualifying for race 2, then we'll go into race 2. So each race gets its little qualifying session there, with a lot of thrills and spills galore coming into this. But you can see there, that's the fastest qualifier there, Li Chun there. He's managed 1 minute right off the bat there. That's basically his qualifying warm-up. So you can tell these guys are quick right out the box.
Yeah. They might need like 2 laps before the tire really warm up and they can push their tire really hard. But, well, they have less than 3 laps to make their best time. You know, we have 8 minutes qualifying, so it's gonna be really hard for them to keep the pace for this race.
Absolutely. What this means in real terms is that they really only have 2 or 3 attempts at a good qualifying lap, because they've got to get the thing up and running, warmed up, which will take 1 or maybe even 2 laps before they're fully up to temperature and up to speed there, before they can really push hard for that qualifying run. You can see there, Li Chun in first position there, 1 minute. 0.012 seconds there. So 60-second lap times all around there. I think we're going to see them go a little bit lower there. Meanwhile, that's Hisham Ahmad going very well indeed. The other thing I'm really impressed with a lot of these drivers out there is you need to be super, super smooth. The slightest mistake, as you saw there with Hisham Ahmad in the braking zone, you have to have a very light touch with the brakes of these karts.
This is the things that I don't understand with karts. It's really sensitive.
Yeah.
How hard you press how hard you push your brakes, how hard you turn your wheels. You know, it's really sensitive when it comes to kart. It's really agile and kind of fragile, actually.
Yeah, it kind of is. I mean, when you look at them, they're built like a vintage steel-framed racing bicycle. So a lot of artisan, a lot of craftsmanship goes into building these karts there. As well.
Oh,
and
Max, we see 59 there. Jay Wong and Lee Ka-chun was actually hit a 59. This is going to be the high race pace actually. It's going to be a fast one.
Yeah, so absolutely. We've already got 59-second lap times there. Li Chun still with the provisional pole position there. Jay Wong in second place. Muazzam Zairi there, Gaskun in third position. These are the three fastest out there, but you can see there Kamal Ali creeping up on the pace right now, and Ika doing very well in fifth. And of course, Master Seth Hazmi Almidun in sixth position. Hisham Ahmad is now managed to improve himself into seventh place. Most of the drivers out there have set a lap time, but they would not have set their fastest lap time.
Not yet.
Absolutely.
So right now we are watching Muazzam Zairi, Muazzam Zairi, also known as Gaskun, another contender for this league actually. He has been driving really good. You see how smooth he take every single corner and how smooth his braking is.
Yeah, absolutely. He's just done a 59.888. That's a very lucky number there for Muazzam Zairi. He's managed to improve his position to second
Nice
place.
number he said.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And he's managed to get himself up into second position there. Jay Wong is in third place. He's gone a little bit deep into the grass there. And you can tell these guys are using every single inch of the road to try and get improvement. The top three are covered by only 0.2 of a second. These are margins you only really see in oval racing, let alone racing around a 1.5 kilometer long circuit there. And the other thing you have to notice about Ortona is that it does have a little bit of gradients to it, a little bit of elevation change, especially through that first two.
Up and down.
Yeah.
For the first few straight line, it was actually you're going uphill and then straight downhill. Yeah.
And of course, you also have camber changes as well. You can see for this beautiful long shot that the karts have to deal with these camber changes. And that's because Ortona not only runs karting races, but it also runs supermoto races as well. And this profile of the track actually helps supermoto and sport bike races really dig into the corner. So a lot of old school, almost like a SNTT vibe.
Actually, the camber things and so on, it's really hard for kart to use that kind of grips.
Yeah, you really end up with one very quick line and a couple of other lines that are a little bit slower that kind of work. But if you're not on those racing options,
it's quite risky actually.
Yeah, if you manage to get yourself offline, you can find yourself on the wrong side of that camber, or the wrong side of that banking, if you will, and the kart can really snap out very quickly. So that's the biggest challenge with Ortona, is that the camber changes and the gradient changes. You can see there Hazmi Hamidun getting the kart very sideways indeed. He's been practicing his drifting.
We forgot to tell him this is not a drift kart. This is not a drift kart. Come on.
He's been practicing.
But he was actually doing quite great right now in the 5th place.
Yeah, absolutely. He's only 1.4 seconds behind in 5th position there. He's in a good position there on the 3rd row of the grid. The inside row of the track there, and that's going to be a good position there. Muazzam Zairi there, 59.511 seconds there. Muazzam Zairi, aka Gaskun, now takes the provisional pole position, and he's pushing hard, still trying to get around some traffic there to try and get another clean lap out there again. But that was amazing stuff. 0.2 of a second faster than Lee Chun, with Jay Wong in 3rd position.
They are trying to push really hard, these kart max. Well, this is the qualifying pace, but if they push this kart really hard in the race by the 12-minute marks, they might have some issue with the tires.
Yeah, that's going to be the tricky part here, especially Ortona. We know it's going to be pretty much the hardest track on the calendar for tires there. But of course, with these wonderful Mojo tires, they do make our lives just a little bit easier. Now, the trick with this is going to be to try and maximize the apex speed around these corners as well, because they're a single-speed kart. It's very difficult to keep the kart in the power band all the way around the track. So that's going to be the critical part here. Just notice in 4th position now, that's Rahimi Han, who's managed to get himself up to 4th place.
He jumped.
Yeah.
He really jumped. He does jump, bro.
Absolutely. He's the fastest of the drivers over the 1-minute mark right now. In 4th position there, he's improved massively, and that's going to be good for him. He's on the 2nd row of the grid right now, and as you can see there, the time's starting to tumble just a little bit. Further down the field, we have Hisham Ahmad, Eka Shabirin, and Mohamed Khalid there, 7th, 8th, and 9th place. I think that's going to be quite a tough battle for those drivers out there. So I think we're going to see battling all the way through the field there. And now, as the checkered flag comes out for qualifying. We see that it is in fact Gascon that has come through.
Yeah, Max. So I am pumped for this race tonight, Max.
Yeah.
It's gonna be really exciting race. You know how close the gap between the first and the 10th racer? It's actually less than 2 seconds.
Yeah, it's a very, very close field this time around for round 1 here at Ortona. We just, our pit lane reporter just got talking with our 5th place man, Kamal Ali, and saying mechanical grip is going to be the key here. But first of all, we have Muazzam Zairi in 1st place, followed by Lee Ka-chun in 2nd, Jae Wong in 3rd, Rahimi Hang in 4th, and Kamal Ali in 5th place. And now we are soon going to head onto the track for the start of the race there. And as the karters line up, they go off, and Muazzam Zairi gets a really quick lead there. Jae Wong manages a spectacular start there to get himself up to 2nd place. Rahimi Hang is in 3rd. Lee Chun's dropped a fair way down to 4th place there. Meanwhile, we have improvements further behind from Hazmi Hamidun and Kamal Ali, who's managed to jump up a couple of positions there. But Muazzam Zairi has a fantastic start there. Jae Wong, an incredible start from him there as well. Brilliant start from everyone there. A couple of cars bumping into each other there further behind. A lot of action going on right through the field there. But that's your top 3 right from the jump there. Muazzam Zairi, Jae Wong and Lee Chun. Nabil Faz right now battling with Hazmi Hamidun, aka Master Seth. Slowhand Bill versus Seth. They are trying to go around the outside and they spin. They spin 3 wide into that corner. Didn't quite work out, and they've got a real challenge up ahead to try and catch back up with the field.
Oh, Max, that was actually a brave move. A risky move anyway, but, well, it doesn't really work for them. But overall, right now, Lee Ka-chun, he might have some issue with his card. You know, his qualifying pace is really good, but right now, he's in the 6th position. That was not a good start for him. This is a 15-minute race, Max.
Yeah.
He's going to need every second.
Yeah, he's going to need every single yard of this race to try and catch back up again. As you can see there, his first lap there, a 1 minute 12, not a great starting lap. It's about an extra 3 to 5 seconds a lap added for your first lap. We're starting from a simulated standing start here, which means the karts will move off from the grid directly just to save ourselves some time to avoid a warm-up lap. But right now you can see there Muazzam Zairi in 1st position, Jae Wong in 2nd place, Lee Chun all the way down into 6th place right now. But you can see there Muazzam Zairi there with under a lot of pressure from Jae Wong. So this battle for 1st and 2nd position really hotting up right now as they come across the line. Let's see what lap times they're doing. They are at the 60 seconds mark, 60.609 there for Muazzam Zairi. He's the fastest lap so far out there. But Lee Chun's gone quicker. Lee Chun's gone 1 minute 0.214 seconds for Lee Chun. He's definitely trying to push very hard indeed. He's actually right behind Eka Shabiri. He's going to try and go in on the inside, and Eka running a little bit wide there. He's managed to get himself through into 5th place. The next kart out on track 5 tenths away is Kamal Ali. That's not very far away indeed. You can see them right up there. He's right into the thick of it. It's a last to first challenge there from Lee Ka-chun there. And it's going to be interesting to see if he can actually carve his way up through the field. How high do you think he can get it?
Oh, Max, he's actually going to find Kamal Ali right now. A very slight mistake from Kamal. There you go. A really slight mistake. And Lee Ka-chun got it. He got the 4th place for the 2nd lap of this race. He's going to be more. He is going for the action. I will bet that he's going to be at least on the 4th or 3rd place.
Yeah, it's looking very good for that. Hisham Ahmad will be looking at his timing screens and pushing very hard indeed. Meanwhile, we join the battle for the lead there between Jae Wong and Muazzam Zairi. And it looks like Jae Wong's really closed up the gap there. It's only 3 tenths of a second there. It's going to be very, very close indeed. But it's one thing catching the kart ahead of you. It's quite another thing to try and overtake. And Gascon, as we know, very, very good in defense when it comes to his racecraft there. Jae Wong, again, very good in this defense, but also very good attacking as well.
Yeah.
And with a long history in Assetto Corsa and a lot of experience in racecraft. It's going to be interesting to see how these two drivers stack up. Moaz Hamzari, not so much experience. He's another driver that's come up through our ranks here at Adrenaline Impact. Again, fairly new, less than 2 years of experience, but a lot of natural talent. A lot of natural talent there. And you can see there, he's actually, Lee Chun's now caught up with Hisham Ahmad for third position. So this battle for third place. Unbelievable stuff. The speed from Lee Ka-chun right now is unbelievable. Diving into the corner there, sliding out wide. Will he make the same overtaking move again?
He is actually really brave. Right now, Lee Ka-chun is fastest man on the track with 59.821 seconds. He is going it. Oh, that was a good tail. But he's not going to do it. He's not going to take the race over here.
Yeah, it's going to be very difficult for him to try and move into position here, coming into the braking zone here. It looks like he's gone a little bit wide, but in karting, that could be a tactic to try and keep the exit speed.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can gain a little bit of speed by avoiding the apex just a little bit to try and get the drive out there. And he's got the drive right now. They are slipstreaming through turn one. He's going to try and go in on the inside there. Hisham Ahmad covers him off beautifully there, but it looks like he can carry the speed up into the braking zone here. This is going to be the critical braking zone there. Hisham Ahmad, beautiful job in catching that slide. He used every single ounce of his braking to cover off Lee Ka-chun. Brilliant racing from both these drivers. Very clean, very fair, and very fast indeed. You can see there Lee Ka-chun pushing very hard indeed. This is a lot of pressure from Hisham Ahmad. It might be a short race.
Wow.
We're only halfway through it, but unbelievable action coming up through here.
Max, the way that Hisham drives, he is really on point in every single defense that he made. You see, Lee Ka-chun has been tailing him for... Oh! They got off the track a bit, but Lee Ka-chun have been aiming for that third position for more than 2 laps.
Yeah, absolutely. This is classic kart racing stuff. There's always a battle out there on track. It's always very frenetic, and every driver is pushing as hard as possible from start to finish. But of course,
that's the issue.
Yep.
If you push too hard, oh, he's going it. He's doing it. Ooh, he managed to catch that, Max.
Brilliant stuff
Wow.
indeed. That is a very difficult place to try and make an overtaking maneuver because the kart is trying to oversteer. The tail end of the kart is trying to snap away from you going through that corner. So to be able to hold that tight line and still keep the speed coming into that, brilliant stuff there from Lee Ka-chun. He's managed to get himself up to 3rd position right now. His next target is Jae Wong. It's a little bit further up the road, but I think he might be able to do it. I believe that's 5 seconds there up the road there. We're about halfway through the race, a little bit past halfway through the race right now. So it's going to be interesting to see how this shakes up. Meanwhile, Jae Wong still putting a lot of pressure on Moaz Hamzari right now. And again, this is just a case of wait and see. Half a second there, 5/10, not quite close enough to start harrowing, not quite close enough to start attack and defense right now, but it looks like he's going to get closer and closer. His lap times now are amazing. Moaz Hamzari did a 1:0.038 of a second, and Jae Wong's managing a 59.969. He's the second man to have managed a 59-second lap, which is flying around here. That's usually what you expect for qualifying around these tracks, but they're doing it in the race. So Jae Wong is a man on a mission.
I bet right now Moaz Hamzari, he trying to save his tire to make sure that he have that last 5 minutes to push. You know, that is the things that we have to do. We have to make sure, and this is a strategy that they adapt and they learn really tight into it. You know, when they want to race, they set it up, they set the strategy up, so they're gonna use it in the race and see if it is really working for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is the great thing about kart racing at a professional level. You really do learn all the ins and outs of racecraft. That's the biggest thing you take away, especially with the Rotax Max series, is that you really do learn your racecraft there, and you really do develop your skills as a professional race driver. And also as a professional karter, believe it or not, there are people out there who make their careers out of just racing in karts. David Serra is a huge... he's a huge name in kart racing, a bit of a hero, a folk hero in karting there. But there's so many other professional kart drivers out there, some of whom you will see at the Rotax Max Challenge Asia Festival in Langkawi, and I can't wait to go to that event there. I've managed to blag a couple of tickets myself. I don't know. I think we'll try and sneak you into the luggage somehow.
That is going to be good. Now we are with Rahimi Hang. He is actually doing quite well for this track. Oh, who's that?
I believe that was Kalik. Another Kalik there. He's backwards spun off there. I think we're starting to see some of these drivers overheat the tires just a little bit, pushing a little bit too hard there. Like I said, there's a lot of experience there needed to get these karts going very quickly indeed. Of course, the classic Rotax Max sound, as you hear as he comes into the corner here, it's all about keeping that kart in the power zone. Of course, Rotax Max, a classic name in kart racing. They really mastered the water-cooled two-stroke engine of karting. And that's just the classic thing there. Hazmi Hamidun, he's trying everything. He's tried a bit of drifting. Now he's going to try a little bit of rallycross there in order to try and catch up with, or try and leave Rahimi Hang. Behind there. Rahimi Hang, again, he's done fairly well for himself. There was a couple of mistakes earlier on in the race, so he's not as high as he would like to be in race 1 here, but still, we can see he's actually starting to gain back up a little bit. And he's now starting to catch up with Master Seth up ahead there in 7th place. I think he's going to find it a bit difficult to go past Master Seth, but if anybody can do it, it would be Rahimi Hang.
Yeah, I do agree with you on that, Max. You know, the best part about 15-minute race is you try as hard as you can, because it's now or never.
Absolutely. In a half-hour race or in an hour-long race, you'd spend 2 or 3 laps to try and read the car ahead before you go in for the overtaking maneuver. In a 15-minute kart race, you don't have time to study your opponent. You have to make the move stick as soon as possible and move on to the next karter.
It's really about critical thinking.
Yes.
When I'm going to do it, where I want to do it, how.
Yeah,
it's really around that.
We're already at lap 12 of this race, and just to say, lap 11, the previous lap before this one, Lee Chung has done a 1 minute 7:04. Before that, he did a 59.7 lap time, which is unbelievably fast right now. I don't know how he's managing to make those Mojo tires work for him right now. Brilliant driving indeed, as you can see there.
Race clock have 3 minutes left, Max. We are around 3-minute mark. This is gonna be another exciting action. That's gonna be between Jae Wong, Lee Ka-chun, and Muazzam Zairi. This is gonna be the last move that they're gonna make.
Absolutely, they're just a signal there from a pit lane reporter. Umar Aziz talking to the flag marshals. They reckon 3 more laps in this race right now. Meanwhile, Jae Wong's getting closer and closer to the back end of Muazzam Zairi there. Gaskun, he's under a lot of pressure right now, but with kart racing, there's a reason why there's no rear view mirrors on these karts. You just have to focus on the car, on the road ahead right now. You can see the beautiful shots there from the drone cam of these Rotax Max karts as they're going through there. Special thanks, of course, to Amprex Motorsports, the holders of the Rotax Max title here in Malaysia and throughout Asia there, for not only putting on this wonderful sim racing challenge, but of course the Rotax Max Challenge Asia Festival as well, organised by Amprex Motorsports, and they are also the operators of the Langkawi International Kart Circuit.
You can hear the buff, Max.
Yes.
Wow, that was really good. Oh my god. Now Muazzam Zairi, he has 1 more minute, and he needs to put that action in. Jae Wong, it's now or never for him.
Absolutely. He's got to pull out all the stops right now, but it looks like the upper hand is with Muazzam right now. It was half a second the gap, but it looks like he's pushing very, very hard indeed, getting himself up to a second gap there. So I think that battle might just be decided unless anything happens coming up through here. Meanwhile, Rahimi Hang still pushing hard to try and get past Hazmi Hamidun, aka Master Seth, coming up to these braking zones here. Let's see if he can catch up again. Yes, he can. Dramatically indeed. I think Rahimi Hang has managed to faster, the braking, which is super critical around Ortona. You cannot use all of the brakes there. He is using all of the road, that's for sure.
I'm so sorry. This is not a rally cross.
The kart mechanics might have a little bit more work than usual at the end of this one. But you can see there, Hamidun has a better technique exiting the corner. He's able to carry the speed through the apex and kick that power valve in earlier and get the kart singing earlier. But Raimi Hang, super committed, super aggressive into the corners there. He's catching up under the braking zones here. It's two very different driving styles, but the end result seems very similar. Meanwhile, Muazzam Zari has dropped a little bit of pace there. He did gain up to a second a lap there, but I think his tires have warmed up a little bit, or perhaps he's losing a mighty touch of concentration there. These karts take so much out of you. It's harder to drive one of these, believe it or not, than a Formula 4 race car, physically speaking. So it's no joke. These aren't your rental karts that you've driven out on holiday. These are the real deal, super serious stuff indeed. They have come across and started lap 16, and Muazzam Zairi there still in the lead and gaining a little bit of position there. So I think he's managed to get himself out on position.
There you go, Muazzam Zari. He still owned the first place. This is going to be last lap, I think.
Yeah, I believe this is the last lap of the race there. And, oh, it's over. All right. We just got a confirmation there from Omar Aziz. The race has, in fact, finished with Muazzam Zairi there in first position, with Jae Wong in second place and Lee Ka-chun in third position.
Well, what a move from Lee Ka-chun. He started a bit slight off,
yeah,
but he moved from a 7th place up to the 3rd place for the first few laps.
Absolutely.
That was a really good one.
That has to be the drive of the race there from Lee Ka-chun. But of course, Muazzam Zairi, he just managed to get himself up into the front of the field there and just maintained his position perfectly.
Yeah, that was really a smooth move by him.
Yeah.
He actually managed to hold the weight and to counter every single thing that Jae Wong tried to make him. He was like on the move and he was on the pace.
Absolutely there. So brilliant race from all of our top 3 there from race 1. But of course, don't go anywhere because we do have yet another race coming up right about now. Sponsored, of course, by Tourism Malaysia and Cuti Malaysia. And of course, it's been a while since we've been boleh bercuti, as they say in Malay. So, yeah, it's wonderful that we're opening up now into the field there. But here's the results from race 1 there. And, of course, Muazzam Zairi managing to get pole position. And that's worth a point in our championship standings there. Of course, we're using the old school 10-8-6, 4-3-2-1. And so the old Formula 1 point system there. Muazzam Zairi takes home 11 points for pole position and winning the race there. Jae Wong in second place. Lee Ka-chun manages the fastest race time, so he gains another point to add to his tally in third position. Another bonus point there for Lee Ka-chun. Hisham Ahmad comes home in fourth, with Kamal Ali in fifth, Eka Shabarin in sixth, and Hazmi Hamidun in seventh place there. And of course, Rahimi Hang in eighth place there with a 5-second penalty for a bit of contact that he had earlier on. That's why he dropped back quite a few positions there.
We have Khalid and Nabil Fazila and Amir Adli at the 9, 10 and 11th place. This is just a race 1. They're gonna have a race 2, and this is just the heat is just actually started.
Absolutely. Now they've got their eye in. Race 2 is going to be even more exciting than the
you
first
have
one.
to learn your opponent how to overtake, how they drive.
Yeah.
So in the race 2, this is where they want to push every single thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, oftentimes you see a race 1 go immediately into race 2, but to mix things up, we sent them back out for qualifying just to try and reshuffle the grid just a little bit. Now we join qualifying in session. These guys definitely going from session to session to session. Right now, just as well run as the Rotax Max Challenge Asia Festival in Langkawi. But there you can see Muazzam Zairi still is on provisional pole yet again, but Jay Wong definitely doing much better right now in second position. Kamal Ali is third place, gaining quite a bit of time there with Rahimi Han in fourth position. So it'll be interesting to see how this shakes up once they really bed those tires in and really push hard.
Okay, Max, not to forget, the timing for the first race and the second race was actually different. You can see the weather there.
Yeah.
The lighting, it's different. This is not the same as the first round race. And this is going to be a bit tricky for them to adapt to the track itself. Now I know how my opponent drives.
Yeah.
But how am I going to adapt to this track?
Absolutely. Now, just like in a full-blown Formula 1 car, these karts have a lot of tuning options available to them. Of course, the engine is sealed from Rotax. It's a single-make engine, but they can adjust things like toe, a little bit of camber on the front end, even seat stay positions make a big difference. That's your weight jacking, if you will. If you're using American racing parlance, that moves the weight distribution when you sit in the car. Everything makes a difference. Of course, adjusting the tires to suit the conditions there. We are now much later in the day. The server is set. So this would be realistic to what a real kart race would be. You'd have race 1 during the mornings, then you would have had your cadet classes, your
there's a lot of classes.
Yeah, your
We have
mini
like
max,
5
micro
classes,
maxes, yes, and all those guys come out there. And now in the afternoon, further on towards the evening, you're going to see them race in really different conditions. I think this will challenge the drivers not only in their driving technique but also in their setup knowledge. That's super critical in kart racing.
Yeah, Max, like I've told you before, this kart was actually only have 30 horsepower, and the weight for the whole kart with driver, it's around 160 something. So it's gonna be really, really hard to adjust every single part of the kart that they can do. Every single adjustment, every single setup that they do, it's meant for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, for instance, if I was to drive a kart and set it up, I don't think Woody would be able to drive it. Mainly because I'm absolutely addicted to oversteer, and I spend most of my time sliding the car and only paying attention in the last 2 laps. Hence why I'm not a Formula 1 world champion.
that was a good point. That was actually a good example.
I was a kid.
When someone set up a kart, it was meant for that driver only. It's not meant for my setup. You can't use my setup to win the race.
Yeah.
It's different.
Yeah. I think you'd be sliding the front end more, I'd be sliding the rear end more. I talk a lot with my occasional teammate in sim racing, Javier Alvarez, and it's funny, we've always said that we couldn't do an endurance race together because my setup would completely baffle him, and his setup would completely baffle me. Because he likes to have the front end to slide a little bit so he can feel the grip through the corners. And I'm completely the opposite. I want the front end to be planted and slide the rear end of the kart. So it's really
that was a different kind of driving style between you and Javier Alvarez. As per now, Max, you can see Muazzam Zairi has set his time. His time with a 59.505. You can see the difference between the first qualifying round and this qualifying round.
Yeah, a cooler track conditions perhaps leading to faster speeds there. But Muazzam Zairi there, 59.505. Jay Wong, 59.575. 7/100ths of a second between first and second place. This is going to be absolutely explosive. I'm waiting for Lee Ka-chun to do his qualifying lap. He hasn't quite done a clean lap yet, but he's basically done a 60.256 second lap.
Well, it's really good to see Rahimi Han. He done a really good job trying to get the point of the qualifying. You see, he is on the 4th place. Actually, it's really a good pace for him.
Yeah.
But maybe when driving, when you restart, there's a lot of traffic. There's a lot of things that you have to be aware of. That might be an issue for him.
Yeah, it's very difficult to race. To try when you've been practicing the fast line, the racing line all the time. It's very difficult to actually try and learn how to be quick when the racing line is perhaps occupied by a slower driver, as they say. So, that's the other thing that's great about karting, is that every practice session is not just practicing for your lap times, but it's also practicing for your racecraft as well.
You need to know where you can chip in, things like that. Just in case you have a traffic in front of you. Well, a slow driver might not be an issue because you can overtake him. But when do you want to overtake him? Where do you want to overtake him? A very slight mistake that you did in a kart will end up with a spun or maybe out of the track or something like really risky move,
Yeah, absolutely. So now with 1 minute left, it looks like the two drivers have gotten even closer. Jay Wong's improved his time to a 59.515, and that is 9,000th of a second, 9 milliseconds away from Muazzam Zairi. You couldn't make it any closer. Jay Wong must be kicking himself now. He's going to try and keep going. You can tell that he's on a fast lap. He's going to try and squeeze one more lap out of the tires. He's using all of the track and then some. He's paid his entry fee. He's going to use all of the track, ladies and gentlemen, in his qualifying run there. He's desperate to try and get himself up at the pole position there. That is an unbearably close lap time there. And of course, while we're looking at that qualifying attempt from Jay Wong, Lee Ka-chun has managed to get himself in 1:59.515. 59.477. 59.4 second lap time from Lee Ka-chun. He's managed to move himself up into pole position, and he's just about ran out of grip there. As you can see, he's used those Mojo tires to the absolute limit. Beautiful stuff. Perfection when it comes to karting there. And there you have it. Lee Ka-chun has managed to claim pole position for race 2. And as the check flag comes out there, Muazzam Zairi is in second place, Jay Wong in third, with Kamal Ali in fourth. And Rahimi Hang, again, beautiful result for him, managing to get himself up to fifth position. So that was an incredible qualifying session.
Lee Ka-chun caught out of nowhere, trying his hard, and now he gets 59.447 for the second round. Muazzam Zairi on the second place and Jay Wong on the third place. This is going to be a tight race.
Absolutely. It's incredibly tight in the midfield as well, with Kamal Ali in fourth, Rahimi Hang in fifth, and Hazmi Hamidun in sixth place. I think the Adrenaline Impact midfield battle, we saw a little bit of that in round one. It's still on. The streak has not been broken yet, and I don't think it'll be broken here as well. Hisham Ahmad is further behind there in 7th position, but he's also the 6th, 7th, 8th and 9th, very close as well. 8th place is slow hand builder Nabil Fazila, a musician, actually from Penang, and Eka Shabirin there in 9th place, with Muhammad Kali in 10th, and Amirul Adli aka Berries in 11th place, all very close to each other.
Wow, that was a really good qualifying session. The difference of the track. Now we are actually going to start the race.
Yeah, so we're going to go to the track there and see what is about to start going on here. They're on the grid, ready to go, and they're off. And it's a spectacular start there. What's that? 4 wide, 5 wide, 6 wide. No, 8 cuts wide going through turn 1 there, but they managed to get through cleanly. No, oh, sorry, I spoke too soon there. There's a couple of karts off the track there. Quite a few karts off the track there. Further behind there, there's all sorts of action happening there. Kali, I believe, was off. Hamidun was off. Adli was... Berries there in 6th position there. Managed to get himself up the leaderboard there. Unbelievable stuff indeed from all these drivers there. Jay Wong's managed to get himself up into first place there. Muazzam Zairi's in 2nd place. Lee Ka-chun in 3rd. And again, not quite the start he wanted, but all 3 contenders are very close to each other. They are within half a second, 0.2 of a second, all 3 of them very close indeed. Kamal Ali is also very close behind in 4th place. If any of these drivers have any dramas, I think Kamal Ali is going to really benefit right now. I think he's going to play the waiting game. That would be the smart thing to do in this battle, but he will still want to push them as hard as possible.
Kamal Ali now need to chase the pace of Lee Ka-chun at least. If he got the pace of Lee Ka-chun, he can... he still have a chance to get maybe at least the podium for this race, and now Jay Wong has done a really brilliant job trying to defend. Back then at the first round, Muazzam Zari is trying to defend from Jae Wong. Now,
The tables have turned.
yeah. These are the things that we want to see.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is round 2 here at Ortona in Italy. Jae Wong in first position, Mohamed Zari in second place, and Lee Chun in third place. Meanwhile, Master Seth down in 6th place. He's now got Ahmad there behind him, and Hishamuddin Ahmad in 6th place there, in 7th position there, and Nabil Faz is in 8th place. Ladies and gentlemen, the Adrenaline Impact midfield battle looks alive and well from here, and it looks like Hisham Ahmad, he's got a little bit of a push and pull situation there. He's fighting with the carts up ahead, and as you can see there, there's another accident further behind there. That looks like Mohamed Khalik and Berry's there. Adli in 11th position. They've fallen off the track there again. Very, very difficult conditions here. Of course, when the track surface cools off, it actually tends to get a little bit difficult to keep the temperature into the tires.
Yeah, that's the issue. When he go off track just now, he need to warm up the tire back.
Yeah.
It's not like straight warm again, no. You have to warm up again slowly, and then slowly but surely.
Yeah.
The tire will warm up, and then you got the pace back.
Oh, we can see there, Kamal Ali went off the track a little bit there. That's not going to help his cause indeed, and that's put him right in the clutches of Rahimi Hang, who's really having a fantastic race right now. He's in 5th position there, right behind Kamal Ali, and as you can see, this might actually turn into an overtaking maneuver if Kamal Ali isn't prepared for this. You can see there he's actually defending on the inside here, but look at that. Rahimi Hang trying to look on the inside, look on the outside. Is he going to send it in? No, he isn't, but he's forced Kamal Ali to defend and run wide, and he's able to get a little bit of a better drive coming out into the infield section here. Let's see if he can actually try and get closer through this section there. Rahimi Hang in the orange cart there, and Kamal Ali in the yellow highlights on the carts there. You can see that Kamal Ali sliding the cart around a lot more than Rahimi Hang is, and around the midfield section here, you want to keep that sliding to a minimum. But this is absolutely exciting stuff here indeed. Meanwhile, you can see Nabil Faz has gone off again. It looks like there's a huge cloud of smoke there. Not too sure what happened there. Meanwhile, Hishamuddin Ahmad and Hazmi Hamidun. Hazmi's gone off the track. Master Seth has gone off the track there, and that's allowed Hishamuddin Ahmad to get himself back up into 6th position there. Unfortunate stuff indeed for Master Seth. He was doing so well in race 1 there. I think, again, when you lose traction, it's super difficult. It's not only that you lose all the temperature in the tires, but you also have to clean those tires back off there. You're not really driving on Mojo C2 compounds. You're driving on the grass, on the
dirt and everything else.
You're driving on bits of Abruzzo rather than the tire grip indeed. Lika Chun's now managed to catch up to Muazzam Zari there, and Jae Wong has been caught up by Gaskun indeed. This battle, three-way battle for the lead right now, has really tightened up dramatically indeed. Only half a second covers the top 3 right now in this race. This is unbelievable stuff coming around the hairpin bend. There might be moves happening fairly soon here. You can see there Lika Chun not quite getting the drive out of that final corner that he needs right now. I wonder if he's just trying to either maintain his traction, keep as much life in the tires as he can, or if he is genuinely concerned as to what's going to happen up ahead, because in karting you never know. But you can see these guys are so close indeed. You can actually read the serial number on the exhaust on that Rotax Max engine as it goes through the corners there. And yeah, really, really tricky stuff here indeed. Now, any mistake from any of these 3 cars could have a huge impact on not only this race but the championship as well, because these are the top 3 in the championship right now from race 1 going into race 2 here. Very, very spectacular stuff indeed coming through these corners here. Again, these drivers really being very sensitive. You can see how snappy the karts are. They've really set them to be very sensitive in order to get the speed out of here. Let's see if Lika Chun can get the speed out from the exit of the corner there. Muazzam Zari is in 2nd place there, trying to defend. He's getting closer. He's right on the bumper there. They are bumper to bumper. He's gone a little bit off the track there, and very far off the track, but he's managed to keep the speed up somehow. Unbelievably there, Lika Chun finding the 4-wheel drive function on his go-kart.
You can see how slidey it is, his car right now. I have noticed it earlier. What happened when you go out of the track, the dirt, the grass and everything on your tires, it's gonna make your tires a bit sloppy.
Yeah. Further down the field there, we had Rahimi Hang. Yeah, he was pushing Kamal Ali very hard there, but unfortunately he's dropped the position there. That's Hishamuddin Ahmad who's managed to get himself up to 5th place. Unbelievable driving there from Hishamuddin Ahmad. And Rahimi Hang, brilliant start to the race there. Perhaps slipping down a little bit, perhaps just wearing the tyres out a bit too much there. And he's dropping pace quite a bit to Hishamuddin Ahmad. Meanwhile, we're looking at Eka Shebirin there. Again, a very, very experienced driver. Both these two guys, very experienced. Nabil Faz and Eka Shebirin. This
might not be a lucky day.
This is the speed tavern battle, isn't it?
Yeah. You can see Ika Shabirin Hasan and Nabil Ahmad, and behind him is actually Khalid.
Yeah.
And Barry's Amirul Ati.
Yeah.
All the speed tavern guys is here like, okay, let's battle together, guys.
So we've got the Adrenaline Impact midfield battle and the Speed Tavern tail-end battle.
That was a really good one, Max.
I'm not going to let them live that one down. But still, brilliant racing from all these guys there. They're only a second or so slower than the rest of the field. Less than a second compared to the midfielder. So you can tell these guys are still going very,
Let
very
me tell
quick.
you something. Khalid has just picked up his sim rig earlier this month.
Yeah.
Barry just set up his wheel before the race starts.
Yeah, that's the amazing part actually is he's literally gone from sort of picking his nose and occasionally starting up with a controller.
Yeah.
But now he's back up and running again. Khalid, again, like I say, any video game he touches, any esports platform he gets into, he
is actually really consistent.
Yeah, in anything.
He is really persistent.
Yeah, he's persistent.
Yes,
that's the right word.
That's the thing.
Yeah,
he is really persistent with the things that he do.
Yeah.
Now he's into sim racing, and you can see the result here.
Absolutely. Doing very well for himself for his first full-on professional competition. Meanwhile, Jay Wong still managed to keep that pace up there in first place, but the interesting part is the battle for second and third place. Lee Ka-chun is very quick right now, 59.847 this late into the race. Unbelievable pace that he's finding there. I think when he backed off earlier in the race, he was preserving his tires. He was making sure his tires were at the perfect temperature for right now when he's pushing hard there. And I think Muazzam Zairi is going to be in a little bit of trouble here. There cannot be any closer than that. Unbelievably close indeed. He's going to try and look for the inside on the outside, ducking, diving, weaving, and it looks like Muazzam Zairi's managed to defend beautifully there from Lee Ka-chun. But Lee Ka-chun's going to try and look on the inside there. Is he going to try and dive in on the inside? Nope, the track doesn't quite allow you to make that overtaking maneuver, but it's just a matter of time right now. Massive amounts of pressure for Gaskun, who's pushing as hard as possible to try and defend. Again, he is in a defensive race. For the second race in a row right now. I think Ortona, definitely a race where he felt it more in his back than in his front.
Well, Max, right now, Max, I bet all of them physics was like, oh, stop it, guys, stop it. This is really taking tools to their hands and their mind, you know?
Yeah.
They have to put a really... it's really hard to turn, and that they really need to keep... Oh!
Oh, look at that. That's a crash there from Jay Wong. Jay Wong has gone off the track there. He spun it off and went into the barriers there. Don't mind the slight lag spike there, but that's what's happened. I think he's turned the kart in a little bit too quick into the corner. If you chuck the kart in too hard into turn one, you can't use full throttle. You have to start pedaling it, and that's when the mistakes happen.
The kart was just snap and understeer.
Yeah. So it's going to be very difficult now for Jay Wong to try and catch back up. He had a brilliant lap time there, 59.894. He would definitely...
too much, man.
Yeah, but he might actually get that extra point for fastest lap at least. But now we have a battle between Azmi Hamidun and Eka getting very sideways there on exit, trying to chase up with them. That battle between 6th, 7th and 8th place happening right now as well. Meanwhile, Lee Ka-chun not quite able to catch up with Muazzam Zairi right now, up at the lead of the race. This is for the race win here at Ortona in Italy. There's only a few minutes left, and look at how close Lee Ka-chun is to Muazzam Zairi. You could not get any closer than that.
I love the way Lee Ka-chun drive actually. he really aggressive towards the input. When he want to exit, he really pushed the kart towards the tail of his opponent, you know. It's really, really good, and it's actually nerve-wracking.
Yeah, absolutely. Meanwhile, we're on board with Raimir Hang there, trying to catch up with Eka Shabirin. We're going to see a front row seat to Eka and the battle between Eka and Master Seth right now. Hazmi Hamidun further up the field there. You can see that they're just dancing the karts around. You can tell that the track conditions are less than ideal. And that's the thing with karting. It's a fine line between a beautiful day out on the track and a very slippy day out. Very sideways, very far off the track there.
Eka Shabirin Hasan also has done the same mistake, Max. As per we can see over here, the kart was actually sliding more than the first race, and this is where the time, like, the kart don't want to listen to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Your command, it's not your order. It's not on my command, sir.
Yeah. Sometimes you can't order it around anymore. You just sort of have to talk with it. Oh, look at that. There's a contact there at the front of the field there. Muazzam Zairi still in first position. Lee Ka-chun dropping back in second place. There was an attempted overtaking there. Unfortunately, they got a little bit wide, a little bit wild and woolly, and they've made contact at lap 13. There's only 1 or 2 laps left in this race as they come down towards the back straight here in the final corner there. That's really big stuff indeed between Muazzam Zairi and Lee Ka-chun. Unbelievable stuff indeed. And just a little bit of a freeze frame there. I think all our systems have almost had a heart attack, just like we have in the studio. Unbelievable bit of racing between those two karts right now.
Well, as I say earlier, Max, Lee Ka-chun, he's really aggressive, and he is trying to take every single inch of the track, trying to overtake Muazzam Zairi right now. This might be his last chance to overtake, you know.
Look at the lap times right now. 101.880 for Muazzam Zairi, 101.870 for Lee Ka-chun. Hundredths of a second between those two in terms of pace. This is going to be a real heart attack moment right now. Coming down towards the final corner there. Let's see if we can see a overtaking maneuver as they swoop through this majestic final corner there. It's all about commitment there. You can see how much faster Lee Ka-chun is compared to Muazzam Zairi in that final corner there. A finger salute there from Umar Aziz. One more lap to go. The white flag has already gone out. And as you can see there, this final lap of the race there, they're getting very close indeed. Muazzam Zairi there with our drone can. They are nose to tail right now between themselves and Lee Ka-chun. You couldn't make it go any closer than that. Unbelievable stuff there. You can see the backfires from the exhaust there. Lee Ka-chun looking on the inside, looking on the outside, trying to get any position possible, and really trying to fill up the rear end of Muazzam Zairi there, coming down towards the braking zone here. This is their final chance for Lee Ka-chun to do something. Let's see if he can do anything coming up towards the final corner there. Hard on the brakes, coming in, chucking it in. So much speed being carried to there, but Muazzam Zairi takes home the checkered flag there. Muazzam Zairi takes home the win in round 2 from Lee Ka-chun. A defensive masterclass from Gaskun. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
That was a really good race, Max. That was exciting. Lee Ka-chun has done a really good job trying to overtake Muazzam Zairi, but Muazzam Zairi, I'm not gonna be kidding you. Muazzam Zairi was like, I'm gonna defense all over the track.
Yeah, absolutely. You saw Lee trying on the inside, on the outside, trying to get him under acceleration, under braking, through the fast corners. They even come together at one point there. Unbelievable stuff indeed. Lap 13 incident, by the way, under review. That will be between Muazzam and Lee there. So we'll see what the stewards have to say about that. They're actually in the stewards room right now, deciding on that fate there. I'm not.
But
if we're sweating here, imagine what the drivers feel like at home. But that's going to put a little bit of a a bit of a shadow there because that lap 13 incident where we saw both karts go off the track there, we didn't quite see it during the live broadcast, but of course the stewards have all the replay cameras and everything else, and they're just going to have a quick look through it. Meanwhile, let's have a look at what these guys are fighting for. This is the UTAMA finals there, and the top 10 from this series are going to go on to the finals at UTAMA, powered by the MORAC Adventure Kart. So they're going to go for a real-life kart race. And with
the grand final is a real-life kart race.
Absolutely. And first place is going to take home 1,000 ringgit plus a fully paid trip for two to the
to the sim sorry, to the Rotax Max Challenge
Asia
Festival.
Yeah. There we go. So yeah, like I said, the greatest kart race in Asia, and it's in Langkawi, man. I like going there just for fun.
You never go wrong with Langkawi.
Absolutely. And of course, going there, all expenses paid, thanks to Amprex Motorsports there. Special thanks also to the ASRF for doing this and helping us out in this championship there. But of course, you guys at home can join in the fun as well. We're taking the top 10 from this sim racing series and we're putting them up against you guys at home for your chance to enter and potentially win that championship. Be the championship tiebreaker, be the spoiler effect.
This is the time when you guys want to see, like, I am the real Rotax racer. This is the time, guys.
Absolutely. For your chance to win a berth into the finals and skip all of these heart-wrenching moments there here. Post and win. Tell us why you are a Rotax racer and stand a chance to win a seat to the Rotax Sim Challenge Asia Grand Finals at MORAC UTAMA on the 4th of December 2022. And we also have 5 copies of Automobilista 2 to give away. So fantastic stuff indeed there. Tell us why you're a Rotax racer on Facebook and Instagram and stand a chance to win. A chance to win.
So, nevertheless, just post and you can win.
Yeah, absolutely. So now we've just gotten word that stewards have made a decision on the lap 13 incidents and they've come out with the results there. And you can see there, Lee Ka-chun has taken the win of the race from Muazzam Zari. So controversial stuff there with that lap 13 incident. Their 5-second penalty to Muazzam Zari, which means that Lee Ka-chun takes home the win this time around there. That doesn't take anything away from Muazzam Zari's attempts at defending. I think 99% of it was perfect, and that 1%. But then again,
off.
But then again, it is a game of 1%, game of inches in racing, and that's where the mistakes can sometimes happen there. So Lee Ka-chun takes home the win from Muazzam Zari in second place thanks to that 5-second penalty. Jay Wong comes home in third place. I think if it wasn't for that off, he would have been a part of that spectacular.
That was really unfortunate of him. But he has done a really good job trying to control the car from the first lap up till lap 12, I think.
Absolutely. And of course, pole position and the fastest race lap time go to Lee Ka-chun, so he gets 2 extra bonus points in the championship, taking up to 12 points and more importantly, denying his championship rivals the chance to score that point. So brilliant stuff there from Lee Ka-chun. The other interesting thing to note is that if Jay Wong had not made that mistake, he would have been right behind them as they both left the track. He could have won the race.
Yeah. Wow. This is amazing, Max. Well, that was really controversial. So on the 4th place, we have Kamal Ali. See how brilliant he drives just now. And then Hisham Ahmad on the 5th place. Azmi Hamidun. Well, he ended up in the 6th place. That was actually quite good.
Yeah. Rahimi Hang in 7th position there. He had a very strong first and second part of the race, but the third part, he was a little bit, the third, if you will, of the race. He dropped off a little bit in pace. I guess a little bit more time learning the kart, a little bit more time with tire management, and I think we can see him right up there in the top 5 there. But still, Rahimi Hang in 7th position. Beautiful stuff indeed. Eka Shabirin in 8th, followed by Nabil Fazila in 9th, Muhammad Khalid in 10th, and Amirul Adli aka Berries in 11th. So that really is the Speed Tavern
battle.
At the end of the field there. So let's have a look at the championship standings now as they stand with the positions right now, and it is a tie. Very, very tense stuff indeed. Muazzam Zari and Lee Ka-chun both have 19 points coming out of Ortona in Italy there, with Jay Wong in third place with 14 points. It's very, very close indeed. Hisham Ahmad and Kamal Ali are also tied on 9 points there. Hazmi Hamidun is in 6th place with 5, Eka Shabirin in 7th with 4, and Rahimi Hang in 8th place with 3 points. So incredible stuff.
Max, where have you seen a first race tie?
Yeah, that's the beauty of having 2 races, and that's the beauty
that was
of
really
sprint
good.
racing.
That was really good.
Yeah, we had ourselves all on tenterhooks there when it came to that incident. There, we're not too sure what happened. It looked to me like perhaps there was a little bit of contact from one to the other. And of course, we have full-on expert stewarding with real-life racing stewards helping us sort of sort all of that stuff out. So technically, Muazzam is in the lead of the championship, having scored more points earlier, but 19 points. Anything can happen in the second round there. So do stay tuned for that. The second round is going to be in Interlagos. The Interlagos is a very special place because that was the place where Ayrton Senna started karting. So Ayrton Senna, a Sao Paulo lad as well, and also Nelson Piquet. In fact, they were rival families in business and in motor racing as well. So Interlagos, Sao Paulo, Brazil, distance 1.1 kilometers, 12 turns. Personally, I think it's one of my favorites on the calendar.
It's shorter.
Yeah.
But it's faster.
Yeah.
The pace of this race gets faster.
Yeah, very high paced and quite a lot of overtaking maneuvers there. We've got at least 3 heavy braking zones. So that's the difference between Ortona and here. Whereas Ortona, you had really one heavy braking zone. Here, they're going to really have to master hard braking in a couple of zones that in order to try and get a good lap time.
The second sector was really good.
Oh yeah, that's so much fun.
I would love to see the second sector, how people overtake, because when it comes to braking zone, when it comes to long turn, people tends to want to overtake that.
Yeah,
that is the attacking position that I want to see.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's going to be on Monday, the 21st of November. Interlagos karting track there. It was the starting point for Nelson Piquet, for Ayrton Senna, for Rubens Barrichello, and all sorts of other Formula One legends from Brazil, and a well-regarded track in the karting community there. So we can't wait to bring you there as well. Spectacular stuff.
So what happened after all the race, Max? Well, I'm really sweaty right now.
Yeah, I've got my notes here, and a lot of the stuff we caught there was unbelievable bits of racing and all that sort of stuff. But everyone was in a battle with everyone else.
Yeah, that is the things that with this karting thing, you know, everyone have their own setup. Everyone have the same cars, the same engine, the same. Everything is the same.
Yeah,
they just have to polish their driving styles, driving skills, and you know, the racecraft and other things, and that what make them shine.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's going to be it from us here. Do remember to check out the Rotax Max Challenge Asia Festival in Langkawi International Circuit, the greatest kart race in Asia, happening from 9th to the 11th of December. Tickets are still going strong there, and you can get fairly cheap deals there thanks to the LADA or Langkawi Development Authority. They run the rural ferries across there on long side.
What is rural ferry?
Roll on, roll off. So you can drive your car on the island of Langkawi, and I would actually recommend that because Langkawi has some fantastic driving roads there. Last time I was down there, I rented a believe it or not, a 1.5 Proton Vera manual. It was in gold. It was a gold-colored car, and I had as much fun driving around that standard itu indah Vera around the island there. So it's a brilliant driving holiday as well as a fantastic race to be a part of.
When we talk about festival, it's not just racing.
Yes.
There's a lot of activities you can do there.
Yep, absolutely. I'm already trying to weasel my way into the after party, which is going to be amazing. And speaking of which, a special thanks goes out to our main sponsors, Amprex Racing Services, and special support there from Rotax. So a special thanks from all of us to Rotax there. Special thanks to Martini, Pepsi, Tourism Malaysia, Tutti Tutti Malaysia, Lada, JW Sports, Holiday Villa, KLI ATV, Amprex Motorsports, Make Car Lubricants, Morac Adventure Park, Langkawi, Rotax, and Mojo Tires. A part of the Rotax group as well. And also a special thanks to all of our drivers and to you, the viewers at home, without whom we would not be able to pull this off. So special thanks to you guys at home. But now that's going to be it from myself, Max Palmer, and from Inche Budi and our director, Umar Aziz, who is probably the most tired. He said the kart track is going to be very small, so you could run around it very quickly, but it's just as tiring. So Umar Aziz, our pit lane reporter, and our director as well as Carol Alang, our producer, and our sound engineer, Achap, who has done a fantastic job indeed. But that's all from us. We'll see you all in the next stream. Bye for now. Ta-ra.